First, the high points of the news. True to the promise of God, the church is waxing strong despite stiff opposition and persecution. The Bishop of Anglican Diocese of the Trinity, USA and Canada, the Right Reverend Amos Fagbamiye, made this submission in Abuja. The Supreme Court of Nigeria has set aside Congresses of Amechi-led APC in Rivers State. Senator Magnus Abe Group of the APC in Rivers State is favored by the Supreme Court judgment. The immediate past governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, has been arraigned before Lagos Federal High Court and pleaded not guilty to all the 11 charges. The organized labor threatens indefinite nationwide strike starting from November 6, 2018. It's good to have you there. This is the Anglican Cable Network Nigeria, ACNN Television. You are on to the news on the hour. I am Folusho Taiwo. You're welcome. The Church of God is marching on despite the challenges it is facing today. This was the submission of the Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of the Trinity in USA and Canada, the Right Reverend Amos Fagbamiye, when he was fielding questions from ACNN News in Abuja on his thoughts about the effects of the society has on the church, especially in the 21st century church, and what should be done. According to him, despite the challenges the Church of God is facing, and although some things have gone wrong, and at the same time right in the church today, and in the early church, the Church of God is still marching on.
Some things have gone wrong with the church, some things have gone right, like in the past, some things have gone wrong, some things have gone right. So there is no time in human history and the history of the church that the church has been perfect. Even the early church, the church in Jerusalem was a fantastic church. In the Acts of the Apostles, they are all of one mind and had things in common, and they were united. But closely following that, there was a problem within the church. Some section of the church was neglected. That's what made the apostles to now appointed 7 deacons. But today, maybe I can say more things have gone wrong with the church today. The church, especially today, has gone commercial, has gone more secularized, has gone more materialistic. I can say today that the society is having a lot of more effect on the church. In the early church, it's the other way around. The church was having a lot of effect on society. And but notwithstanding, the Church of God is still marching on. It is held by there's violence. But in spite of that, even today, in spite of many things that have gone wrong, the church is still marching on. And the church is still strong.
Bishop Fagbamiye also stated that even though the church is going through these hard times, that the gate of hell shall never prevail against the Church of God, and that in spite of all those challenges, God will still keep the remnant of Israel.
The gates of hell shall not prevail against the Church of God. You know, the 50 years to come, until Jesus Christ comes back. He says Jesus will not come back until the gospel is preached to every nation. So many nations have not yet received the gospel. So we are not going to be myopic and just look around ourselves and think the church is going to collapse. No. In spite of people doing all kinds of shameful things against the church, in spite of people trying to destroy the church, in spite of cheating in spite of false prophecies and false prophets, in spite of people faking the gospel and so on, God will still keep the remnant of Israel. And those remnants, those faithful ones, that God is going to use them. That's where the miracle of God comes in. God will continue to use those ones to preserve the gospel, and not only that, to make the church strong and to go forward. So 50 years and more than that to come, the church will remain strong until Jesus Christ comes again.
He further encouraged the youths of this generation to join hands with the faithful pastors and be the remnants of Israel and rise up to take the church in the right direction.
My message is to my own generation is that many of us need to repent. This generation, I don't know. We have many people today who have other powers, who are using other powers apart from the power of the Lord Jesus Christ. And you know, they're deceiving the people. Unfortunately, the people are following them. They hypnotize them, they lure them, they develop their own gospel, their own teaching, they create all kind of fantasies and so on. So my message is to the youths, and I'm very much passionate about the youths, that the youths can be the remnants of Israel. Join those in my generation that are still faithful pastors. The youth should rise up to take the church, so that it's like a relay race, that we pass on the baton to them and they receive it and they go to do the running.
The Bishop of the Anglican Diocese of Afikpo, Ebonyi State, the Right Reverend Paul Udogu, at the weekend called on President Muhammadu Buhari to retire all the service chiefs in the country without further delay. He also enjoined the federal government to step up its security network and responsibility in the country to ensure the safety of Nigerians across the country. In his presidential address during the third session of the Fourth Synod of the Diocese, Udogu said there has never been a time in the history of the country, except the period of the Civil War, that innocent citizens were massacred on a daily basis than now. He condemned in-season killings in the country by Boko Haram terrorist group and herdsmen, and expressed surprise that the federal government has refused to declare herdsmen a terrorist group the way it declared indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, which according to him does not bear arms like the Islamic sects and its men. Udogu called on the federal government to save the country from collapse and disintegration by allowing free and fair election during the 2019 elections. The immediate past governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, have been arraigned before a Lagos division of the Federal High Court of an 11 charge of conspiracy and money laundering. Mr. Fayose and his company Spotless Nigeria Limited pleaded not guilty to all the charges. The George Mojisola Olatorigun ordered that he be remanded in the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and then adjourned till October 24 for the hearing of his bail application. According to the EFCC, Mr. Fayose received 1.2 billion naira to fund his 2014 gubernatorial campaign in Ekiti State, and some they said he ought to have known formed part of the proceeds of an unlawful act. Femi Fani-Kayode, a former aviation minister and member of the People's Democratic Party PDP, was also in court to show solidarity. A former minister of aviation, Femi Fani-Kayode, has stated that the embattled former governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose, will overcome his travails under President Muhammadu Buhari. Fani-Kayode said this while explaining why he appeared at the Federal High Court in Lagos during the trial of Fayose. Fayose, who was arraigned by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) on an 11-count charge, had earlier pleaded not guilty to all the charges. Femi Fani-Kayode was among several People's Democratic Party (PDP) stalwarts present during Fayoshe's arraignment. Explaining his reason for being present during the matter, Fani-Kayode said he was in court to show solidarity with Fayoshe. The Edo State House of Assembly has impeached its Deputy Speaker, Victor Edoro. The impeachment followed a motion moved by the member representing Oredo East constituency, Honorable Osaigboyo Oyoha. Edoro, who represents Esa Central constituency, was accused of financial mispropriety, misappropriation, anti-party activities, and corruption. The impeachment notice was signed by 16 members out of the 24 lawmakers in the House, and the Deputy Speaker was immediately replaced with the former Speaker, Justin Zokonobo. Edoro's impeachment led to pandemonium in the Assembly complex as security operatives shot in the air to disperse angry supporters of the embattled member who allegedly attempted to stop the impeachment. We shall now take on a short commercial break. We shall be back with more news. Please stay with us.
Ajayi Crowther University admission has commenced. Programs on offer include undergraduate, postgraduate, part-time, HND conversion, foundation and pre-degree programs in faculties of law, humanities, education, natural sciences, social sciences, and management sciences. Faculty of Engineering offers mechanical, electrical, electronics, and computer engineering. Faculty of Environmental Studies features architecture and estate management. Our tuition is affordable and payable in 3 installments.
Visit www.acu.edu.ng for online application, screening, and admission letter. Giving our state-of-the-art facilities, well-equipped libraries, decent learning environment, and distinguished lecturers. Apply now by logging on to www.acu.edu.ng or call 0814 592-0637.
Ajayi Crowther University, raising godly intellectuals.
You are welcome back, and thanks for staying tuned. And for more on our top studies, please visit our website at ACNNTV.com or youtube.com/ACNNTV. To be up to date with our news and other programs, please download the ACNN app for Android from Google Play Store. For eyewitness report, please send your video clips or pictures to news@acnntv.com or acnnigeria@gmail.com. The Supreme Court has set aside the ruling of the Court of Appeal staying further execution of the order of interlocutory injunction restraining all the Progressives Congress from conducting further congresses in Rivers State. The judgment is in favor of the Senator Magnus Abe group of the APC in Rivers State. The Supreme Court said following APC to retain the outcome of the ward local government and state congresses conducted will amount to a reward for disobedience. The appeal court's decision, which was taken in June, suppressed the order of Justice Chiwendu Nwogo against conduct of the ward local government and state congresses of the APC in Rivers State, which did not go down well with the applicants. The former Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has again said she has not declared her support for any political party yet. She lamented that some politicians were using her name to advance their objectives. The former minister said this in a statement signed and made available to reporters by her media advisor, Paul Nwabuiko. Okonjo-Iweala said that fake newspaper articles quotations and audios were being circulated in our name and that the public should disregard them. The former minister stated that in spite of all several rebuttals and clarifications that have been issued over the past months, some groups and individuals are still misusing the name of former Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, to further partisan political objectives. Donald Duke, the presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party SDP, has picked Junaid Mohammed as his running mate ahead of next year's presidential elections. Duke revealed this in a statement posted on his verified Twitter page. Dr. Junaid Mohammed is a well-known academic and on the political scene as a political warhorse firebrand who has served in several capacities at both the federal and state levels, including the House of Representatives 1979 to 1984. He was a founding member of the PRP in 1976 under the leadership of the late Malam Aminu Kano, and was until his nomination the SDP National Deputy Chairman for the Northwest. The National Youth Service Corps NYSC has suspended the commencement of the 2018 Batch C Corps members' orientation of those deployed to Kaduna State. The orientation course, which was earlier scheduled to commence on Tuesday, October 23rd, has now been postponed until further notice. The state government had imposed a 24-hour curfew to halt the bloody attacks escalating from killings in Katsu and Magani, Kajuru local government area of the state few days ago. Confirming the development in a statement signed by the NYSC management in Kaduna, the coordinator of the scheme in the state, Ajia Siddiq Walida, said the development became necessary to guard against any eventuality. According to her, all affected prospective corps members are advised to remain at home until further notice from the NYSC management. However, all other prospective corps members deployed to other states and FCT are to report at the various orientation as scheduled. The organized labor has planned to embark on an indefinite strike action from November 6, 2018, accusing the federal government of playing games with the new minimum wage and has vowed not to continue their negotiations with the federal government. In a statement signed by the president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Ayuba Waba, his trade union Congress counterpart, Boboy Kaigama, and president of the United Labour Congress in Abuja, the organized labor has threatened to embark on a nationwide strike as the federal government refused to meet their demands. The organized labor had stated that the committee did not agree on a specific figure during the last meeting and that they accepted 30,000 naira as a compromise to demonstrate the willingness of the Nigerian workers to make sacrifices towards nation building. However, was a minority voice from the federal government as they proposed 24,000 naira, which is more sustainable for them. The Director General, Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, NECA, Timothy Olawale, however, pleaded with the organized labor not to embark on strike, adding that if it does, the private sector should be excluded. And so that's it on this edition of the News on the Hour. We want to thank you and thank you profusely for watching. I am Folusho Taiwo. Please mend it, Don't end it in a hurry. God bless you.